Yo, what is up? It is Monday. You know what time it is. It's Muscle Bully Monday, True Beats Podcast. We in here. You know what's up. I hope y'all ready, man. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. I'm having a good one. I'm tired, though, y'all. I'm just playing. I really am, though. Get my co-host in here with me, and we're going to run the show. Y'all know how we do it. We ain't got no guests today. We apologize. We didn't have nobody booked today, but we do have a fun-filled packed show for y'all. That's for damn. Boom, boom, boom. We got one. What's going on, my man?
You ain't got the
There we go.
answers, Zach. Roger, you ain't got the answers, Roger.
Well,
Listen, Sway.
You ask my
Listen,
wife,
Sway.
she I don't know shit.
That's a fact.
My shit's all foggy for some reason.
Yeah, you got to wipe that lens off, man.
Yeah, you got to quit letting the dogs lick on the camera lens.
I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, man, tonight's
got
giveaway,
shit.
we're doing something a little bit unique tonight. We got some additional gift certificates on here. So one's for $25, one's for $50 on xdog.com as well. Of course, we got all the Muscle Bully products, some True Beast toppers and leashes and
There we
collars
go.
and stuff
Go.
like that.
There you go. Yeah, it was like
There we
he was
go.
in the shower.
Dog slobber's all gone.
There we go.
There we
You sure
go.
that's slobber? Because you forgot to take your glove off.
Could have been fried chicken
Oh.
grease. Who knows?
I have an X-Dog question. Hey, okay, I say, if you guys have any questions, okay, so to be
And he's gone.
Oh, did he freeze for real?
Yeah.
The heck?
Sounded like I figured
He's
he was
got
on
him.
Wi-Fi. Must have been on
Yeah.
cellular.
Look, my dog busting in my room. Mama, what are you doing, Mama? What's up, mama girl?
I had
All
one in
right,
here with
well.
me last week, but it just laid on the floor. I didn't even know it was here.
Champion Musil always finds a way back here. Come on, mama. Go. Let's go. I'll come out there in a minute. Oh, we good. What happened to him? We got to add him back in? Did he?
I don't know. He just
Yeah,
disappeared.
look. Let's hit accept. See what happens.
All right.
I don't know how to like cancel him out.
I don't know what's going on, man. Here we are. I'm back.
Not supposed to be easy.
It's not supposed to be easy.
That's the good thing, yeah. Because is he still froze on your end?
No, he's good on mine.
Oh, maybe it'll refresh in a minute.
He's here.
It's froze on my end.
I mean, I can hear Roger. Everybody good?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Awesome, man. So, all right, Zach. So, what's tonight's theme, buddy?
It's never easy.
What do you mean?
It's never easy. The journey, bro. Let's talk about how the journey, man. Everybody just assumes that being in positions you're in, getting in successful situations, doing what it is you got to do, they just think it's, they think it's going to be easy. But I feel like between the three of us, we could probably sit here and talk for 2-3 days on why and how none of this is easy. Anything you do in life is never going to be easy.
You have to put in work.
Yeah. So, why do you think that's such a big theme? And it's not just in the dog community, right? Like, how many times have you've probably heard some or seen somebody like in social media groups that go, and all you need to do is you just need to get a bitch, and then you just breed that bitch, and then you get your bag back on that, and it's just going to be really easy. And then you take a pup off that, and then you breed it to another stud, and now you got his kennel, and you're just going to be making all this money. It's going to be that easy. And it seems like that's the same thing with entrepreneurship. Like we talked about earlier, like problems just become bigger problems. The problems never go away. And if you start looking for easy, you're fucked, man. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, like we were talking about, when there's more on the plate, dude, somebody is not doing a good job with Mumu tonight. What's up, Mumu? She is back again, bro.
Hey,
What's
it ain't
up?
supposed to be
here.
easy, man.
2 times already.
I'm here.
She's
I'm staying.
chilling. Wait, just shut the door. She can chill. She's fine. She won't get on the couch. She'll just lay beside me. But we good. Yeah. See, it's never easy. Just simple as that, right? Just trying to run the show. Got the dog busted in the room. She's like, "No, I'm trying to be in here." Yeah, like we were saying, bro. What were we saying?
How would
I
you
always
get when you?
with bullies, I always
Yeah,
compare it to basketball, right? There's a
yeah.
guy that played basketball all his life, and he's like, "I'm going NBA. I'm going to be NBA player." But if you look at the statistics of how many kids play ball all their lives and how many actually make it to the NBA, it's tiny. It's a tiny number. But
Less
they
than one
all,
percent.
yeah, but they all say the same shit. They're all going to do it. You're all going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have every advantage in the world, and you're still not going. You could be the best ball player in the world, and you still might not make it. So bullies is kind of the same way. You know, there's a ton of people out there that buy dogs and breed dogs, but there's just that every once in a while person, right? That like does their first breeding and hits with their stud or something. You know what I mean? Or just buys the right dog at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying there. When it comes to this game, man, like there's a very small percentage of people who are actually really doing it, and the majority of that percentage really isn't even on social media because the people that are really moving dogs, they're moving dogs. They're not like on social media trying to get
Right.
validation in social media groups and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And that's, again, that's the issue because as you begin to learn what what a successful program looks like, you start to look at all the people that are posting all this stuff, and that's not it,
Yeah.
right? Because successful programs don't need to do that, but they don't know that yet. They haven't learned. So those lessons, you hear people say there's levels to it. Well, I mean, reality is there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is.
And
Yeah.
it's so transparent after you hit another level to be able to look back and see the people that aren't there. Right. But when you're down here, you can't see up there. You don't even have an understanding of what's going on.
What are some red flags that you guys see that people do that you're like, oh, automatically they just don't have what it takes? Like, for example, one thing I saw the other day, or I commonly see it all the time actually, is, hey, my bitch is coming into heat. Let's see what studs are out there. In my head,
Yeah.
for example, when I'm talking to you, Roger, you already have Precious lined up.
Yeah.
You're not. I don't ever see. I'm
Every
never
one
going to
of them.
see. Yeah, I'm never going to see you online doing that.
That category of people falls into the category that you were talking about that believe that you can just come in here, get a bitch, breed her, make $1, flip that, do this, right? So,
Yeah.
But the downside of that, right? So if he's just a dude with a bitch and he's like, hey, who's going to let me hit? The problem I see is the amount of people that will actually jump on the post and be like, hey, I got a stud, knowing for one, 9 times out of 10, the person that's saying, hey, who's going to let me get the pup back or whatever, or she just went in the heat, who's she going to use?
Right.
It's usually a bitch that's really not worth a fuck, right?
Right.
It's like the same category of people. There's no pride in what they're doing. They're just trying to get $1. Somebody lied to them and told them that they had good shit. Somebody's gaslighting them, telling them that it's good shit. And then when people like that come along and they fuck around and get a chance to use a decent stud just because of the fact that somebody's trying to prove their stud, right? Backyard breeder's like, hey, well, I got a decent dog. We'll run them together. And next thing you know, you got another half-ass litter. And it's like, oh, well, I thought we was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got there's a couple females that don't have like their 2 and 3 planned out,
Yeah.
But for the most part, I've got the majority of my females planned out to the last breeding, Now you don't always get it. So I always do what I feel like is the most important one first.
Yeah.
And then that just in case, because shit happens. I mean, you might not get a breeder 3 times. So try to do what you
that's
can
the
do.
thing too. Yeah, you could fuck around. There's so many factors that she could miss. You could time it perfect with the fucking vet. Everything could be in line. Fucking progesterone numbers good. All the P's and Q's in order, and she just for some reason still not take. She could fucking
all the time.
dissolve them. She could fucking a lot of shit abort the whole fucking thing. Like there's so many factors, and that's what another 6 months if you wait back to back. So.
And vets are super inconsistent. Like I deal with people, and they say, they said to go ahead and ship the semen. I'm like, well, where's she at? And she's at a 5. No, it's not time to ship the semen at a 5.
Yeah. If you're doing surgical,
it's your responsibility as a stud owner, and a lot of people don't realize that, but it's your responsibility as a stud owner to educate every one of your clients. Because their success is your success. So if she doesn't take, then it looks bad on your stud. Even though it's not,
Oh
it
yeah,
could
that's the
totally
first
not be
thing.
your
Yeah,
stud's fault. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah. That's the first thing they're gonna holler. Oh, bad semen, bad semen.
So let's just say now that you have your bitch lined up, right? And she takes, that's when the real work really actually starts, right? Like, I mean, that's
yeah,
part of the work, but that ain't the journey, right? Like, it's one
No.
thing to make sure that she takes, but then you got the marketing campaign, whether you're marketing to get rid of them or you're marketing their future to build your brand,
Yeah.
is a pivotal. It's a lot of work, man. Like, it takes a long time to get respect in any field that you're in, to where you're like known for a person of quality. Like, for example, I'm on year 20. I'm 2 decades in on this. But when I put out a product now, people associate it like, hey, there's going to be some quality behind that product.
right,
But that was earned over
right.
getting punched in the mouth, having so many fucking downs, bro. And here's the thing with entrepreneurship: you're gonna run into more downs than ups. Eventually, you're just gonna have those 1 or 2 ups that really just kind of oversee all the downs, right? And then eventually, you're just gonna have more ups and more ups, but you're still not gonna avoid a lot of down period. There's gonna be a lot of down period, and that's what separates the real successful people versus the one who just fold.
And not only that, but it's like you try this and it fails, you try this and it fails, and you just keep going and going. And then one day, it's like you tried 12 techniques to try to get through to people, and none of that worked. And then you try one more thing, and then all of a sudden the door just opens up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's no way you could have known that that was the thing. And it did. And just because it works for you, it doesn't work for another person. So you can't say, hey, all you got to do is this. No, that's not how it works. It didn't work like that for everybody.
Yeah, you definitely have to. I mean, shit, we've watched it. Stan, me and Stan, when I was in Texas, fucking, we were doing all this work, creating all this, writing, coming up with all these ideas, and then like one day he just posted some random shit, and it like was like, he was like, "Bro, you serious?" And I was like, "Yep, that's how it works." Like the fact that we've tried all this stuff, and it's just that don't work, that don't work, that don't work, that don't work. Oh, well, I'm just gonna do this, and then boom, like you said, the door just opened. It's about being accountable, right? Like at the end of the day, you got to be accountable to realize that you signed up for it. That nobody else is really gonna come to you and just be like, "Yeah, here you go. Let me show you how to do this shit." Like Stan says all the time, it's kind of like it's an assholish thing to ask somebody, "Hey, can I pick your brain for a minute?" And like, you just want to take up their time. You think they're supposed to just open up this book of, "Hey, this is how I did it. This is gonna work." But here's the thing, just like what Roger said, even though Stan can sit here and tell you word for word, play for play on everything he fucking did to build, or Roger can tell you everything he did to build his companies, it's not gonna work for you.
No.
Right? Like the motivational part is there. The certain things that all businesses have to do as far as like starting at legal aspects, banking and shit like that. But the actual journey, the actual making it work, is nobody's journey is the same.
Exactly.
So what works for you won't work for me.
Well, we see it all in bullies. We see it all the time, right? So there are studs born every day, and there are dogs that grow up to be amazing, right?
Yeah.
And what percentage of those actually catch the hype and end up being a popular stud that a bunch of use?
Yeah.
Very few. Very few.
Yeah.
Most of them people never even heard of.
Yeah.
Right? It's very few. So if you get that lucky, that you get a stud that catches the hype and you start rolling, the first thing I look at is what are they doing next? Like, what are you doing next? You're not going to be able to ride this out forever.
Yeah.
So what are you doing next? You should be working on that next dog. If
Yeah.
you got this one, you should be working on the next one.
Because you, like you said, man, it's you got to keep up, right? It's always an evolution. Somebody's always going to come behind. Every 6 months, there's a new batch of dogs born.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So,
for sure. After you are established, then it's easier, right?
Yeah.
Because you're the established breeder. You had a nice dog, and you say, "Hey, here's the new generation." He's automatically accepted because you've already established yourself as a quality breeder. But when you're new, there's no sense of shitting out 65 dogs because no one's paying attention to you when you're new.
And then you got a whole other bunch of complications that you're going to run into. Like, oh shit, I've got fucking 6 puppies that I wasn't expecting to keep. And now I got to like undersell my brand by selling them for real cheap, which is actually ruining your brand.
Right.
Like it's literally ruining the quality of your brand. It's like one of those things, man. Like I hate running sales. I just hate running sales, right? Like I don't like running sales. Like
Right.
this whole Black Friday shit drives me crazy. I don't like it for our brand. And because it lowers the quality. I'd just rather be premium. I'd rather be higher and be premium.
Right.
You don't see Rolex on sale. You don't see Lamborghinis on sale. You don't see Ferraris or Bugattis on sale. They're at scarcity. These Rolls Royce, you got to wait a year to get your Lambo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you're going to pay premium price. And that's just what it is. So you got to decide, do you want to be a cheap looking brand or do you want to be the creme de la creme? And there's being in between, there's just no room for you, you're going to fuck up.
And I posted that last week about, you're never going to see my stud on sale. It's just never going to happen.
How dare you?
Just set the price, and the price is the price.
Who do you think you are?
I know, right? But there are guys that do that. Like they'll do a Black Friday sale on their stud or something.
Yeah.
And that's just, to me, what it is you're, like you said, you're diminishing the value of your brand. Right. And especially you can imagine if you had 15, 20, 30 people lock in your stud and then you put him on Black Friday sale. You know what I mean? All those people that locked him in prior are pissed.
Yeah.
Right? Because then they're not getting that price.
Yeah.
So
we talked about that earlier. I had to put out a bunch of fires today because we weren't supposed to. There was no sales. There's not supposed to be any sales on our pre-orders at the 3.5. I'm like getting all these text messages and these messages inside my DMs like, hey, can we get the different? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I had to correct some shit here. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, how would you feel with that? Like, I don't even know where you thought that was even fathomable. Like, it's just really disrespectful. But we ended up fixing it, and then we made all the situations correct. But it was just an unnecessary fire. It was just, I don't know, man. Like, it should have never happened. But when it comes to your program, right? Have you ever ran into this, Roger? Since you're kind of new in the game, you're producing all this quality. You have this dog that champed out at a very young age, and it's like, well, he doesn't have he's not 3 generations deep of his own blood.
Yeah.
There's always something
no good.
I mean,
no good.
At the end of the day, there's 2 options you can look at. What does he come from? Right? You're going to look at his pedigree, and then you're going to say, okay, he is this, his mom's this, his dad's this. That's a consistent look down that pedigree. So you can probably count on it.
Yeah.
Too many times you'll see a stud and he is amazing, but you look at his mom and she's like straight classic. Like there's no way, there you just get that one puppy out of the litter that just turned out amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way that stud's going to be consistent. But like he can't be. He's 50% his mom, he's 50% his dad.
Yeah.
So when those cases, what you have to look at is you have to look at their productions at that point. You have to say, okay, he's been in the game for a while. He has some productions on the ground. Let me take a look at the puppies that he's produced. And if he's producing consistently, then, then I'm able to look past the pedigree. But,
Yeah. So, like, let's talk about how you were talking about looking further back and it being consistent in a certain look. So I think a lot of times people think just because there's a certain blood name behind the dog in the generational picture that they see, that they instantly factor out everything else, right? They're like, oh, it's got this dog, that dog, this dog. But a lot of the times, like you said, you'll look back at some of these dogs in the ped and it's so scattered as far as a pheno. Like you got a big, tall bitch to a short dude to there's so many different sized dogs that when you do breed it, all of that's going to come back out if you're pulling from it first, right? So your first couple of generations from pulling for that shit is going to be inconsistent and scattered. You're going to have so many different variations of it because it's not tight yet. There's so much going on back there. So it's a lot of the times you got to look at the actual, it's hard. It really is because a lot of times you only get this picture that you can see on the app. You know what I'm saying? It's like this big, you got to try to blow it up. Then you got to try to ask somebody if they know anybody that's got pictures of the dog. So it can be hard, but you can tell for the most part from the pictures.
There's a solution. There's only one solution.
Yeah.
No other way to steer around it. Go look at the dog.
Yeah, go see him. Yeah.
Go see the dog. That's it. If he's going to be at a show, go there. I had people at my place this week. 2 different people came to see dogs.
Yeah.
It's part of your responsibility, just you want to come see the dog, come see him. You know what I mean? Come to the house, you can see him. You can run around, you can pet him, whatever you want to do. I think that's, because a picture doesn't always represent a dog in its best light.
Most of the time it doesn't. Sometimes it over delivers and sometimes it massively under delivers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, reality, if you don't want to gamble, get in your car, go see the dog.
Yeah, do the fucking work. It's not supposed to be easy. Take
That's
that
right.
trip.
It takes the work.
And so, with that being said, like, Zach had talked about earlier this week in one of his podcast episodes about seeking validation. I did a post earlier about, like a lot of people, man, look for this validation inside these little groups they won't do something because they're so concerned that this person who does not know them or gives a shit about them might criticize them online. Where I go and I'm like, shit, I'm trying to find these millionaires and these people that are way ahead of me in all different areas of life, and I'm seeking criticism from them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just don't let people who are not validated validate me. You know what I mean?
You should be the worst person in your group. Like the least successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like everyone in your group should be better than you. You got something to learn from them. You know what I mean?
No, I strongly believe in that. I see it happen all the time, man. The people close to me and just people that I barely even know. It's like you watch it, like your small accomplishments or shit that you should generally be doing in life, like just the fucking basic steps of life. We try to celebrate. It's like this big accomplishment. It's like, oh, I did this today. Or, you get all these likes, right? But in retrospect, 3, 4, 5 months down the road, when these expectations don't reach to the level that you thought they were going to reach to, you're going to like put yourself in a state of depression because it's like, oh, I didn't make the goal. Because it's like, yeah, they're gaslighting you. I said it wrong on my podcast too. Depression.
You think you're not gonna let that slide?
I was
getting depressed.
I tried to get you to let me slide. I said it in my podcast.
I thought you said the pretzel, and I was like, "Where's the pretzel?"
The fucking pretzel. No, bro, you're gonna play with your mind game because you're letting these people that are unvalidated. That, like I was telling Stan, man, real successful people aren't gonna congratulate you for little simple shit, like the basic steps, the shit that you are actually supposed to be doing in life. So. You're letting these people gaslight you by believing, oh, you're doing such a good job. You're doing so great. But in retrospect, what the fuck are you doing? You haven't done nothing to like really validate it. And these people are people that are unsuccessful. They don't have their shit going together. And they're just, at the end of the day, blowing smoke up your ass to give you a like and be like, yeah, you're doing great.
It's crazy. I don't know if you, because I don't really know your businesses, Roger, but I know with managing people, for me, my experience on a personal level is that I got so sick. I knew I was hiring the wrong person, and that person wasn't the person for this culture when they would want to seek validation for doing their fucking job. Like, It's one thing to seek validation if you over deliver on what we agree upon, right? But it's another thing where you're like, hey, I did my job excellent. I need Stan to fucking give me a pat on the back and tell me I did a good fucking job. And I was telling Zach, I was like, I'm just the type of person, I'm just so competitive that I'll just go into any type of work type place, and I don't care if it, like you said, like if it's fucking shelving things in a at a grocery store or fucking cleaning a bathroom or something. I'm gonna try to out fucking clean the bathroom better than you. I'm gonna try to out shelf you. I'm gonna outwork you any way, shape, or possible. And I don't need the validation. My validation is I just beat your ass in whatever we just got into. When it comes to competition.
Yeah, in our community, it's a lot like that. That's my light. Yeah, because people's early on, they buy a dog. They don't know if their dog is good or not. So what's the first thing they do? They start posting it. Start putting maybe a little outrageous claims on it. This dog's a fire or whatever shit they do. And then they look for people to validate them, to share it, to comment on it and say, yeah, your dog's awesome, right? And sure enough, somebody will be like, yeah, that dog's fire, man. And you're like, that dog's trash. But people blow smoke up their ass, and then they have to learn a hard lesson, and it generally comes right around the time that first litter drops.
Yeah.
Because all those people that was blowing smoke up their ass ain't trying to buy no puppy.
It's like they're just sitting on it.
That's a hard lesson to learn, and it happens right there.
And then that boils back to what Stan was saying is I strongly believe you got to have all that in line before you even think about dropping that litter. Like the people don't just, like Khan said it best, people don't buy dogs from people. They buy from a brand, right? Like This is just the consumer mind state. Like they're not buying a computer, they're buying it from Apple. Like everybody's
Right.
got computers, but Apple's got the best. So that's who they go to.
Well, when you look at the community out there, not to interrupt you, Zach, but there's some people like in the exotic world is a perfect example. They've developed their little brand in their little niche market, and they're it's a trash fucking dog, and they're selling the shit out of them.
Yeah,
Right.
for big money, right? Because they made this market to where it's like, if you want this, this is what you have to pay regardless. Like they were all on board. Whereas hey, if this is trash, we don't give a fuck. You gotta get 40 bands to get this trash.
If you find somebody that tells you that your dog is garbage, you should probably pay attention to them. They're probably the only person being honest with you.
Ooh,
right. That's
a gem right there.
It's like one of those things. Like you have to be able to like. No one's going to tell me shit about my dogs I don't already know.
Yeah.
Not one thing. You're not going to surprise me with nothing. I look at them every day. I know exactly what they are. But so many people don't. Like they just don't realize that their dog's not good.
Well, that's one of the things I like to do when we bring guests on the show, or I talk to you guys. Like, what's some of the things you would do to improve your dog? Because I want to hear what they would have to say. Because most of them are working on that next. I mean, we bring on some extraordinary minds, so their vision's 2 or 3 breedings ahead, and they're already lined up on how to work. And that's how you actually learn. When you go, man, I love your dog. I mean, he's a great dog. What would you do? I mean, what are some of the areas that you think he's flawed in, and what are some of the strengths? And they'll tell you. Yeah. And they'll give you all the free game you want to know.
Yep. Yeah. Anytime I plan out a breeding, I look at the stud I'm going to use to the female, and either there's 2 scenarios. One, she is where I believe she needs to be. So in that case, I'm looking for a stud with a phenotype exactly like hers.
Yeah.
He's going to bring what she has already. So we're not going to change anything. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or 2, she's lacking in some way, and I need this stud to bring whatever it is that she's lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kimber is a great example. Kimber lacks the muzzle to be a standard. She's standard height. She's got standard mass, but she has a narrow muzzle, and that puts her in the classic class. And she lacks a little bit of leg bone, and that puts her in the classic class.
Yeah.
But she's so on the border. Honestly, a couple of years ago, I probably could have got away with putting her in the standard class.
Yeah,
she'd have probably been fine. But today's classes, no, she's got to be in the classic class. But if you look at her at mass alone, she's big enough to be a standard. So when you bring a stud to her, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a stud with big leg bone, short muzzle, blocky head. Yeah, like she's got a blocky head. She just has a narrow muzzle. So correcting those things. What errors or what problems can the stud have that she is super excelled in? Right? If this stud I want to use, if he's got a great head and he's got great bone, but I don't know, maybe his movement's a little bit off. Well, her movement's amazing.
Yeah, there's a counterbalance. Yeah.
Yeah. So it reduces the amount of puppies that are going to hit that mark because some of them are going to take after dad and some of them are going to take after mom. Yeah. If they both have great movement, then your odds are better.
But, so do you think, how many times do you think people are in a position, like you said, where they've got to a point where they don't need to change the pheno or really add too much, and they just go and do it because they don't really realize what they're about to do and then fuck up the whole play?
Yeah,
right.
That's my worst nightmare. You know what I mean? That's my worst. And I look back at PEDs because just because a stud represents himself in a certain way, you got to go look at that PED. Where's generation 2, 3, and 4? What's there? Because that shit can come back.
Yeah, it's going to come back.
Sure enough, if there's a terrier-looking dog in there, it's coming back. And it's going to come back in your litter. And you don't want it, but it's coming. So it's just something you got to pay attention to.
Well, again, to stay on theme in the topic of the night, like it's not going to be easy. And even when you're winning, it's not going to be easy still. I mean, when you look at a dog like this past weekend by the name of Winston, he's a French bulldog, right? And I never seen it just let me know how our community is and the dog community and how toxic it is. It was like, I
didn't know so many people knew Winston.
Well, it divided it. Like people were even complaining, like it's just crazy how many owners he has, you know. And it took but they don't
understand what it takes to fucking compete on a level like that, right?
To campaign, right? Yeah. It takes, you got to have financial backing, which he's owned by some professional sports athlete, right? And then he's got a handler, and he's got to He had like
It's
four other
it's three
people
or
managing
four.
him.
Yeah, it's like a celebrity. It's Morgan Fox, which I think might be Megan Fox's sister. Maybe I'm not too sure. And then there's a wide receiver dude that plays for like Carolina or some shit. And then the handler guy, and then who knows, right? But they're competing on a national level at the top of where you're supposed to be. You don't think that shit comes with a little money involved in that shit?
A
You know
lot
what
of
I'm
money.
saying? Like that's top tier. But
And it's
what
not
blew
even
my
just
mind,
money. It's
yeah,
politics too. You got to play that political game in there as well. That game is no fucking joke, bro.
yeah,
That
um,
reminds me of earlier in the week, some guy made a post on Facebook said, you guys might have saw it, said if you don't whelp your own litters, you're not a real breeder.
yeah.
And
Somebody asked that question in the thing. What's
and
y'all's opinion on whelpers?
when I
So let
saw that, I was like, this person has no business mindset. If you
yeah,
were to
Yeah.
say that, that tells me that you are not in a business mindset. Now,
Yeah.
in the beginning, when you first start your business, you do everything, right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
you don't have no employees and you don't have no money coming in to pay for employees and all that. And I get it. But
Yeah.
down the road, as your business grows, you have to find, you can whelp a litter, sure. But guess what? So and so over here, she whelps 10 litters a month or whatever.
it's
You know what I mean?
badass at
She's
it.
a professional.
Yeah,
You can hand her, and your odds of the pups being safe and good are better with her than they are with you. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make you hire professionals to do things. Be smart enough to just be smart enough to hire people that are smarter than you.
Yeah. You got to monetize, man. Like
yeah.
you're ignorant if you're not. Like
Well,
every major company has that.
Yeah,
Period.
and this dog game is no different. Like
yeah,
If you want to treat it like a business,
yeah,
you
I
know.
have a handler because that's not what I do.
Yeah.
That's not where my interest is. But that's where her interest is, and she's really, really good at it. So
yeah. That's the
why would
thing.
I do
Yeah.
it myself? You know what I mean? I just let her hand her the dog. She does it. That's what she does.
Who
Yeah.
do you think
And
you
then
are, Roger?
I can't believe this guy. But and then it's like, are you a
Arrogant son of a
breeder?
bitch.
Yeah,
They always want
morality.
to. I get the whole. I don't know, man. I just hate that they. I
You're
hate
just a
that we.
hater.
Yeah, I hate it, bro. I hate that we neglect the business side of this whole fucking journey, right? Like it's always, oh, you're a bad breeder, you're a good breeder. It's like, no, you got to be a business person at some point in time if you want to be successful, like the people that you see are successful.
Well,
Yeah.
when you look at our culture, right? Our culture is highly influenced by the hip hop industry, right? But when you
Yeah.
look at someone like Jay-Z, Puffy, 50, all these guys who are really running the game, like Kanye, and they've monetized outside of music, right? Like
Yeah.
they've done things outside of music and they've treated it like a business. And
Right.
those who treat it like a business expand into bigger and broader things, man. And that's the biggest difference.
Well, not only that, but you can have a passion for something and truly be passionate about it and still run it like a business.
Yeah.
Matter of
Yeah.
fact, if you don't, then how passionate are you really? Because if you weren't willing to treat it like a business and run it like a business and organize it like a business, then really
Yeah.
how passionate were you about it?
Yeah, and that reflects to your consumers. Like that shows the people that buy from you or potentially can buy from you see that. They feel that energy, they see what you're putting into it. That's why it's never easy, bro. If you're running a business like this, it's never easy. The fact of like it's so tiring. Like when I was in Texas, me and Stan were talking about it. Like, bro, at the end of the day, it seems easy in the amount of content that we put out on the level we put out, type shit. But at the end of the day, that shit is really, really tiring, right? Like you got to get
Yeah.
on Facebook and you got to come up with a strategic plan. You got to get on Instagram and like bounce out, and it's like you got all of this, but people just don't understand that that's what it takes to be in the forefront of 10 million other people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, even when you was down here, we were taking breaks so you could handle your other business and I was handling my other business. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like we were just down here shooting content and shit like that. It was like shooting content while running a business.
Right.
Yeah. And then it boiled down to learning about tricking yourself and telling yourself that you're so busy, right? Like, oh, I'm so busy. But in retrospect, it's like, what was productive in the business? What did you actually get done? So that's what me and Stan have been trying to learn to do is take less time to make just as much fucking impact with the content and make it strategic to where we know it works. We found the niche. We know it needs to be done. And now we don't have to spend 2 days going back and forth. Now we can spend 2 hours and boom, bam, bing. right? And we put
Yeah,
it
you got
out.
the
And
system.
yeah,
The system.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's how
it's productive.
and if you're ever going to be acquired, which like I don't know if kennels ever get acquired or anything like that, but if you ever want to get acquired in business, people who acquire companies, they come and acquire your systems. They don't acquire really
Yeah.
your company and brand. They want to know how your systems are being ran because they need to be able to come in. They're not going to run it. They're going to hire people to come in and position those people and replace the people that they need to replace it with better people. And that's just how it works.
And a lot of times they'll look for value, right? So, especially in real estate, especially commercial real estate, they'll go in and they'll say, okay, how is your properties managed and all this stuff? And they'll look at it. And then not only when they consider the price they're willing to pay, but they also want to see, is there value there? Can we provide value to the people that rent these apartments? Can we provide internet and sell it to them? Can we provide TV and sell it to them?
Yeah.
How much value is there that this current owner is not
capitalizing
on?
Yeah.
So kind of that same way,
Yeah, I mean, I know it'd almost be kind of, in a way, like if you were to leave, Rogers, somebody could be able to come in and make sure all your dogs are taken care of. Like there should be a system in place. These dogs get fed this. This is when I pick up the poop. This is when my dogs get exercise. This is when my dogs get bathed or whatever. There should be systems in place. Which, the way I look at your program,
bathed or bathed? Do they get bathed or bathed?
They get water shot.
They get splashed.
Hey, stop it, man! You made me depressed.
Yeah. So what I did to try to create that system.
Hey, we got to come out with some pretzel shit.
The pretzels.
Pretzels.
So what I did to try to create that, because another thing you want to do, not only do you want to have a system that's repeatable, but you also want to have a system that literally anybody can do. Yes. You need to simplify it to the degree that anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So if you go into my kennel, you'll see on every kennel, there's a door on the door, there's a whiteboard.
Yeah.
The dog's name, what the dog eats, what supplements the dog gets. All that pertinent information. If a complete stranger, never done it before person could come in and do what needs to be done because it's all right there on that whiteboard.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally makes sense. Checklist, man. That checklist is vital.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
consistency, the dogs get used to it.
I got one.
So we got some questions, man.
Shoot 'em.
Yeah, let's run through them, bro. Let's do it.
I'm gonna make sure everybody's in this wheel too.
Scroll to the bottom down here. Let's say.
All right, so this is you got a couple more minutes to enter the wheel. I'm not going to enter any more in the next 5 minutes. So if you haven't entered a question in the question box to get into the giveaway, don't ask in the next 15 minutes because we're giving about 40 minutes to do this.
All righty, here goes our first question. Can everybody see Stan but me?
I can see that. No,
I'm talking about
Stan,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, no, it's been black the whole damn fucking show. But I
you can't see me, baby.
You're not missing anything. It's fine.
I didn't want to kick him out and start over, but I hope everybody else can see him this whole time.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they can. I can.
I hope so.
As long as I can see Roger, that's all that matters.
That's all that really matters. I'm in the dark anyway. I'm a damn light.
So weird. You guys are weird. But anyway, Neely Watts, what would you look for when breeding a dog with a slight roach?
The dog. Her dog has a slight roach, or the dog she wants to breed to has a slight roach?
Yes. Their dog has a roach, I guess.
Yeah.
They're trying to fix a roach. There we go.
Then definitely breed to a dog that doesn't have a roach.
I'd say smoke it.
Yeah, I would too first and think about it.
But no, look for
the consistency.
Certain bloodlines you can count on having one almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are a couple of bloodlines I can think of immediately that will throw a roach. So obviously those stay away from them. Because
and those are the type of situations where it's like you got to look a little further back too. Like just because you found a dog that doesn't have it, go make sure his mom and his dad or his grandpa don't have it too.
Yeah. I'm not naming names, but I'm just saying.
Kind of
a couple bloodlines that even if that dog don't have it, what did he say?
Yeah,
a couple bloodlines that even if that dog don't have a roach, that bloodline can throw one.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. So do your homework for sure before.
Yeah, those blue-nosed tiger stripes sometimes happen.
The red-nosed snapper turtles.
Something like that. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Good. That's how real dog is, because a real dog man would know what we were talking about.
That's right. I
All
got called the
right.
dog man. I was surprised when he did. He's like, "You're a real dog man." I said,
Oh, thank you, dog.
"All right. Well,
But my
I need
I'm
my.
marketing
going
is
home. I'm
unbelievable.
going home here
I'm
now
gonna need
because
my
my job's
badge, I
done.
guess.
Yeah.
Somebody tell
Where do I
me.
get my certificate at? Goddamn it.
Shit, I've been looking forward to that one.
Mitten Pride Bully says, Roger, have you bred mock to a heavy edge female? If so, what was the production? What was the outcome?
I have not, and that is definitely something I'm willing to do. I've actually got a breeding planned with some edge, and the bad thing is I lock the stud in. I'm like, okay, I know I want to use the stud. He's an edge dog, and I just haven't quite decided what female I'm going to run him to. But no, the opposite I have not done. I'm not taking Mac to an edge female yet. It'd be interesting to see because Mac's real cut. Like he's real cut like an edge dog would be, you know what I mean? So it would be interesting to see.
Here goes one. I'm just running through them tonight. We got so many of them. There's so many words. Marley Thunder, alligator, some shit. I don't even know. How do you
Marley
recommend
the
it?
Malligator. Marley the
That's a long
Malligator.
one.
Bro, I'm so
That's what
far
she
away
said.
from the phone, I can't see. Yeah.
How do you
there go, right?
recommend? It says, how do you recommend someone to get started on diet/program to better your dogs, muscular wise and endurance wise?
How would you recommend someone get started? By feeding them the right foods that are going to promote that. It just really depends on your dog's current feeding program. Again, you have to analyze and evaluate your dog's foundational calorie intake. And so I know from my experience that racing greyhounds are on a 50% fat diet. And the reason why is because fat is a superior source of energy and they're high endurance dogs. But it's all going to depend on the dog breed, the dog lifestyle. And there's just too many factors to really say that there's a one shape all. But when it comes to muscle, high quality proteins, when it comes to endurance, healthy fats.
So let me ask you this. Are dogs normally in like what we call ketosis? Like, is that
if they're on a raw diet? Yeah,
their natural, is that their natural like position is to be in ketosis?
Let's just say this, like wolves, coyotes,
right.
Foxes, they're predators and they eat whole prey. Organs, they're not taking out cornfields or not. But again, our dogs are domestic dogs, man.
Yeah, so, we've evolved them. So
yeah, we've evolved them. So they eat fruits, they eat vegetables, and a lot of the animals, like for example, if a wolf or coyote eats a deer eats grain, and sometimes it's in their guts, right. And so
just not substantial enough to make a difference.
Yeah, but high quality proteins, healthy fats would be the foundation of muscle and endurance, and I would say any animal sources.
And basically, how much based off how active that dog is.
Yeah. And in most cases, you'll be safe. My dogs eat a high fat. I would say high protein, but I would say maybe like a 70-30. 30% fat and organs, 70% protein.
Can you overdo it? Is that a thing?
They say that it just depends. Like, for example, they say you can feed too much protein, but the dogs that they say you can feed too much protein to are dogs who are usually on kibble. And those kibbles, again, like Roger is stating, they're not in ketosis. They're feeding some type of grain or seed. You know what I'm saying? So I think that plays a factor. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know, man. Like my dogs are on super high quality protein all the time, in a variety, and they've had no issues.
When you guys first started your business, what kept you moving forward and motivated you to be successful? Who wants to go first?
I'll let Roger go first.
I wasn't not going to be successful. So, I guess the thing about it is when the first business that we opened was a vape shop and we sell vape products, right? So we had to prove that to ourselves that the market was even there.
Yeah.
So I literally sold vape shit out of a backpack. We would get up in the morning, I would give my wife a backpack and I would take a backpack. And we would go to our jobs. But we would meet people and sell vape stuff to them. And it got to the point where we said, okay, there's enough of a market. The spare bedroom in my house is full of shit. I'm already a vape shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's move forward. So we just took the dive and we said, we're going to do it. There wasn't even a question. Like there was never a doubt in my mind that it was going to happen. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you want to call it ignorant bliss or whatever, but I just got up every day. And for the first 3 years, I was the only employee of that shop. I worked from open 10 a.m. to close 9 p.m. every night.
So you were working for somebody at the time, you said?
Yeah, at the time we had jobs. We worked for someone else, but we started doing that on the side. And, you know, it was more, I'm a little bit different. So, you know, if I say, hey, I want to do something, I'll just do it. You know, I don't give a shit. I just go for it. Dina's a little bit different. Dina's like, you're going to have to prove to me that this is real.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put it all online. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was that whole backpack phase was me proving to her that, yes, there's a market for it. And then at that point, she was like, okay, let's move forward. So, you know, then we dumped money into it. And like I said, the first 3 years, from open to close, I worked. There was no days off. The shop was open 7 days a week. So there was no days off. There was no doing shit except for going to work. And then, you know, then at some point we got so established, then I was able to start bringing people in. Yeah. And then I'd have to hire someone that I could trust to run the business without my constant presence.
Yeah.
Right. That freed me up to move on to go do something else.
Yeah. And I'm sure Roger can attest for this. I don't think it's like, I think there's a common misconception that you wake up and you're fucking motivated all the time. The truth is that what separates those who are successful versus those who are not is the willingness to wake your ass up and go do the things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you know it needs to get done in order to push shit forward. And you're not going to get paid for it. Sometimes you're going to lose money, but you know in the long run it's going to pay off. And that's the biggest fucking difference, man. Like, I know Roger probably doesn't want to wake up and clean dog shit out of his kennels, but he wants prestigious fucking kennels, so he's going to wake up and do it without even questioning it. But he doesn't enjoy picking up dog shit from 23 bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something he loves to do.
Just something you got to do, right?
Yeah.
Something you got to do. It's just like, think of it like this. Do you think about putting on your socks?
No.
You just put your socks on. You got to treat your business like that. You get up in the morning and you do your business.
Self-accountability, right?
Stop thinking about anything else. Just put your damn socks on.
Yeah.
When you do that, because it just when that kind of dedication, people see it, right?
Yeah.
And look at your competition, like, you know, in this other business, I look at my competition and I said, what do they do wrong? What do they not do? Yeah, that is my strength. I'm going to make that my strength. Yep. What they don't do right, I'm going to do extra right.
Yep.
And it worked. True.
It's just like you said. It's just one of those things, man. You don't think about it. You develop these habits. I think one of my biggest challenges every day is dialing and staying focused and not allowing myself to get distracted, because there's so many things pulling at you from all different types of directions. It's like, you know, that's why I paid. Like, I never thought that I would ever pay for coaching in anything I would do. But when I went and I invested into actual coaching and getting mentorship, I invest, and I stopped looking at it as like, this is a bill. I was like, no, this is actually an investment. So when I started investing and they're like, okay, let me teach you this shit, and I started learning and I applied, that's when things changed for me. And so if you can get any type of mentorship, get some mentorship. And if it takes a little bit of money or coin to make that happen, you should go do it. And if you can't do that, then you should offer massive value and surround yourself around somebody who's in your field that you look up to, that you want to seek validation from, and go offer as much value as you can to them, whatever you can do for fucking free.
I always call that pay the tuition.
Yeah.
Even though you might not be going to school, you got to pay the tuition. Now, it may be work. It may be physical labor. You may have to pay someone to teach you. You know, whatever it is, you're not going to get by. You have to pay the tuition. You're not going to get by without it.
Well, you're going to pay anyways, right? You're either going to pay the hard way, which is doing it wrong and lose time, finance, headache.
Which is worse,
or you're going to fucking or you're going to. That's why I love reading books, man. I used to hate reading books, but now I'm like, okay, I can read a book from this person, and this book is, let's say, 200-300 pages, and it's like 10 years of their life, and I can grab a few golden nuggets out of that fucking book and apply it to my shit, And,
Yeah.
you know, it works. I don't like read the
Exactly.
book and go, okay, I'm going to apply every single thing, but you'll find a few shortcuts in every book of a person, especially like a self-help book or somebody that you look up to that, man, it'll change your game, but you got to make the investment and read. Hey, is Mitten Pride Bullies in the building?
They were. I believe we answered one of their questions just a minute ago. Next question we got is, how and when would you start to promote your breedings? I really think this boils back to what we were just talking about you need to start promoting and marketing your brand now. Like
Right.
people always want to wait until the breeding gets here, right? Like in all actuality, you can't promote that officially until you've confirmed, which is, you know, way down the line, right? But
Right.
you got to start now. That's the thing. Like I tell even my friends, I get on their ass. I'm like, bro, what are you waiting for? Like, don't start now. Promote now. Like, promote your brand. Like, just promote it all in a whole. To therefore, they see you doing cool shit. They see you doing respectable shit. They see you at the vet. They see you at the shows. They see you here.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when you do drop a dog, they're more likely to be like, hey, I like what he's got going on. I respect
Yep.
his brand, not his breeding. Right?
Yeah. Here, the thing for me is like,
Now you want to
never.
leave.
When do you promote? You know, when do you promote your breeding? Is never. You don't.
Yeah.
You promote yourself,
Yeah.
and then if they know your dog, and they know your female
Yeah.
because you have properly introduced them to your brand,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then when you do that breeding, they already know both of those dogs,
Exactly.
right? The other
You
part
gotta-
is that if you're new and you do a breeding, you should 100% be willing to keep the entire litter.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
Or
I think that's one of the
just-
most genius moves that you did on this precious litter is that none of them is available, but you're positioning every pup to potentially be a household name by saying, "Hey, they're not fucking available." You know, this litter's so great, they're not available.
like
And
when everything comes to light, then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
why." You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I haven't even shared a picture of them, you know, because I don't even want anybody like you're going to see them when the time is right for them
Yeah.
to be seen. Now, my other litters that I've got coming is kind of the same way, right? Not necessarily as huge as named, but they are dogs that are being bred for a purpose. You know, I have very focused intentions for these puppies that aren't even born yet. That's how confident I am in that breeding. And none of it involves selling them. Don't really, you know, I'm not even worried about that part of it.
yeah,
I'm trying to build a brand here.
yeah. Mitten Pride Bullies, no one's seen them because I can remove them and go ahead and spin again.
Beast of Peace says, does X Dog have a fitness program yet?
Yeah, we're working on X Dog University, and we're going to have a full-blown fitness program set up. We just brought in new trainers, so we're bringing trainers. We've got a couple certified dog trainers that are going to do boarding trains and just group classes and stuff like that. We're building out the back center, and then I'm going to be
there's Mitten
creating.
Bullies right there. Mitten Pride
Yeah,
Bullies.
they're
That's
here.
on there.
Okay, I'll go ahead and
here.
spin it then.
See what you're gonna win.
But yeah, we're gonna have programs, and me and Zach are actually working on those. We're gonna be filming them probably throughout December and then through January. It's called X Dog University. You definitely want to sign up for that. And then we're working. I'm really considering coming out with an app too, just because the tool is so versatile that it's just more than a fitness tool.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Well, training's a big thing. Not only that, like
Dope.
physical training, but like getting your dog ready to go in the ring. That kind of training.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, that's not for everybody. I can't do that shit. Like, I
Andrew's
don't
class.
have the patience.
Does
for
that?
it. I just
But
don't.
does that make you a shitty breeder because you can?
I guess so. I mean, to some
With
people,
whelping in my mind, like right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he didn't whelp his puppies. I think
he
that
doesn't show
so
his
like
dogs.
yeah. Back to that, like a lot of the times people get the like you.
misperspiration.
How many people misinterpretation is what I was going to say, but I didn't want to use the word anymore.
I thought it was
but-
pretzels.
You bailed out
Yeah, it's
halfway through.
it's better than pretzels. No, like the misconception of how many people actually really truly still work a fucking job, right? Like in their
Yeah.
mind, they think all of these people are just blessed enough to be at the house 24/7 and not have to. So a lot of times people might be a good top breeder, but they still have to go to work Monday morning,
Yeah.
right? Then they can't
I
take
mean, if
off
you
of
got a
work.
job,
So yeah,
exactly. You got a
whelpers
job
come into
making,
fucking play.
200 grand a year or some shit. Like, I ain't mad at
Exactly.
you because you had someone to whelp your litter.
Yeah. So don't think just because somebody's using a whelper that they're a shitty breeder. Because I
Or they
believe it
don't
or
do
not, some of
anything.
the
You know what I mean?
the more than you think, more of the top breeders that you would think probably use whelpers, right? Because it's convenient, and then
I would think so.
it's and then like I don't think it makes you a bad breeder. Like I don't know who
It's
I
a
know.
luxury too. It's like one of those things. It's kind of like if you're playing a video game and you had to have an opportunity to add an attribute to your program that'll enhance it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Get a full-time
Yeah.
person who's 100% on that shit. And
Yeah.
and also that's going to free you up to become a better version of yourself. It'll free you up to start marketing more. It'll free you up to gain more revenue, to set up for more shows, give you
Exactly.
more time to start
Yeah.
networking with other people. And
That's
that's
the
just what it
biggest
is,
thing.
man.
Like,
Yeah,
how
if
in the
we're-
hell am I supposed to grow a program and be at all these shows and show all my dogs and whelp litters at the same time? It
I
doesn't
missed all
happen.
of 22. I went to
You know
3
what I'm
shows,
saying? It
2
doesn't happen.
shows. Yeah, 2
Yeah,
shows.
matter of fact,
You got to trust somebody eventually to do something.
Yeah. Let's run through some more, bro. There's so many.
Yeah,
We're
let's
getting
do
close.
it.
What'd they win? Did they win something? What'd they win?
yeah, they won a Muscle Bully Gains 45. So make sure you hit up at XDog. Let us know. Send us your address, email, and contact so we can make sure we get that out to you. You got 24 hours to message us. We're not going to message you. You got to do the work. It ain't going to be easy getting these free gifts. Royal_Ray_Kennels. Are you guys in the building?
Yeah, they
Are you
just
in
actually
here?
commented. Haven't been in here 2 years or something. He just said so.
Oh, he's here?
Been in. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. He's in
Remove
there
them and
commenting.
All right,
You're about to spin and find out what you win.
Let's see. I'm just gonna run through. I'm going from the bottom to the top on the question list. K the Bull says, would you run the risk of breeding a female to a stud with a smaller head to try and fix a slightly high rear? I would, but I hate high rears.
Yeah.
How
So I
important right now?
sacrifice that.
No,
You
absolutely.
guys been at the shows. Like, how important is like massive head size? Because I remember back in the day, that seemed like that was the only thing important 20 years ago. And
It's important. I mean, a
Yeah.
dog needs to have a blocky head.
For
What is
sure.
the muzzle needs to be 1/3 the length of the total skull head length. So there's a very specific definition of what the head needs to be. And in reality, us as humans, that's how we identify things, by its eyes. We look at its eyes first, right? So
Yeah.
if you don't have the head right, you don't even have the rest of the dogs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, the head has to be right. That's the first thing you look at to identify if it's an American bully. So you have to have the head right. Like,
Yeah,
absolutely.
to see the
But-
female or the bully. Yeah.
Yeah, but would I breed? Yeah, absolutely. Every time I breed, if I breed a stud to a female, I understand that he has weaknesses and she has weaknesses. But what I'm looking for is an average. Not every puppy is going to come out of that litter and be exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, if I get 1 or 2, I'm happy.
Okay, so now it kind of leads in. This is going to lead us into. I seen somebody else post and they said, if what they say, how did they say, if they still got the dogs at 8 weeks and they ain't got off none or some shit like that there's probably shitty dogs or something like that, right? But I'm thinking to myself, why so fast? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Why in a hurry?
Well, it comes down to, a lot of times it comes down to, you're gonna let the wrong dog go to the wrong person, or the one you should have kept's gonna go away if you're just moving so fast, right? Like,
That's
you gotta
that
be,
levels thing again.
yeah, gotta be able to
Because
just hold
when you're
on
on
to
this
them.
level, you realize that statement means I'm just in it for the money.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
there's no way at 8 weeks. There
Yeah.
are very few people. I've seen people do it. Pick a puppy at 8 weeks and say, this is the one.
yeah,
But it's hard. It's hard. You need to keep that dog. There are some flaws dogs don't develop until they're older. They'll be 8 weeks old. They look great. 10 weeks,
Yeah.
2 months, they look great. 6 months, whoa, what the hell just happened?
and it's
You know
gonna
what I mean?
enhance too. Like, you might see it at 6 weeks and it might be a slight whatever,
Right.
but by the time he's
6
so
months is
old.
Well, look
game
at
over.
Bazooka.
It's gonna be 3 times as bad. Yeah,
Well,
it's gonna
Bazooka.
be 3 times as bad. Yeah,
Bazooka as a pup, man, she had a very great top line, and now it's she's got a little bit of what Zach loves, and but she's just massive dog too,
Yeah.
So,
but
Every
it
dog's
was
a tool. You just have to
Yeah.
understand how to use it.
yeah.
It's like what Roger said though. Like a lot of them things you won't see until a dog's full grown.
Well, the
Right.
things that so the things that I saw with Bazooka, I already sent you guys over some mails that I was looking at throughout. We're like, this is how I'm going to try to correct it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I validate your guys' opinion, and I didn't even have to say nothing. You're like, man, that's a fucking gorgeous dog.
You didn't send
Yeah.
me shit, I don't think. Oh, no, that was the dog. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
he
know
did.
that's why you sent it to me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just-
So
Now it comes
He's
together.
a window shopper.
Just get out there kicking tires.
I'm going out there
That's all
right.
networking, baby, building
Did you
relationships.
go see that dog?
No, I want to. Yeah.
Then you ain't no breeder.
God damn it.
Damn.
Well,
Shut
well,
it
you know what?
down.
I sent my future whelper to go down there and look at the
There
dog,
you go.
so
It's
even better.
That's gonna hurt somebody in the morning.
I don't even know if I need the whelper. I just have him on sideline just in case.
But yes, from the original question, yes, we would.
3-dimensional bullies or 3-dimension bullies says how many pedigrees back, or what did he say? How many generations back in a
Generations
pedigree
back.
does a dog start to be irrelevant? So how far back before it don't matter no more?
Well, it's not
Be
a matter
careful
of,
with this.
Yeah, for me, it's not a matter of irrelevant. It's a matter of odds,
Yeah.
right? So the closer that problem is to your dog, the greater the odds that the problem will arise. So the farther back it gets, the less the odds. And it'll still happen. I don't give a shit. It can be back 5 generations.
Yeah.
It can still come back.
Yeah.
But it just reduces the odds greatly.
Mm.
If you do a little bit of homework on genetics and how traits are passed, you'll get a kind of a feel for like, what are the odds that my female is going to get this or my breeding's going to get this. And but for me, I don't know. I'm looking at 3 generations. If I don't see anything that scares the shit out of me, I'm pretty all right.
Interesting. Vixen _bully _ camp. Are they in the building?
Yeah.
Bully camp, where you at? See what you guys won. Let's see here. Next question in line, fellas. Do you consider tapping in with different kennels by buying into their productions count as paying tuition?
On a co-own? Maybe on a co-own.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you buy a dog on a co-own, now granted this has to be a certain type of breeder, right? But if you buy a dog on a co-own, that unlocks a lot of information for you that you didn't have access to before, right?
Yeah.
If you're dealing with a very successful breeder, has a lot of experience, that's something you can follow. You have that person's dog, and it's half their dog too. So if there's something wrong with that dog or you have a problem, you can hit them up and be like, hey, this is a problem. They're gonna help you out. But the reality of it is you buy the dog outright, most breeders are just like, good luck.
Yeah, holla at your player.
Yeah.
Roger. So here's a question for you. You're fairly young in the game, even though you've made a lot of impact. With this precious litter, are you looking to see other people's opinions on who they may think is the keeper or get an idea? Like, are you asking some people within your network, hey, which pup do they like? Do you seek information like that?
Not on that breeding, but in another breeding within my own network, yeah, I would. Yeah. Not outside.
He's trying to prove something with that one. He's like, "This fuck everybody back up! Got this shit under control."
But that one, I was just like, I don't give a shit. They're none of them going. No, they're not. None. Zero. Are leaving. Period.
Yeah.
But
levels.
No, I try not to even keep. Like, I learned a couple lessons. I did a couple breedings early on. And I did them before, and I did it like this on purpose. I did them before really anybody started paying attention to what I was doing. Because, number one, if I colossally screwed up, I didn't want it to be like everyone know, well, he just supposed to have a litter, and then he didn't supposed to know dogs, you know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah.
So the first couple breedings, even though I didn't want to, I wouldn't use those as a learning lesson to prepare me for some breedings that I thought were going to be much, much more important.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as far as working with other kennels, it depends on the kennel.
How many more questions we got, Zachary?
A lot.
What we do?
Yeah.
We got time for a few more.
I don't care. Run it.
Run them.
Doom, 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 doom. Here we go. This one for Stan. How do you feel about food toppers and freeze dries versus raw, and do they go hand in hand?
I mean, raw is superior. Freeze dried is raw if you reconstitute it. In you know what I mean. But raw is superior. I use both. I mean, I feed raw and I use toppers. The reason why I use toppers, and it depends on what type of topper. Like the reason why I use the toppers that I use is because of the prebiotics, probiotics in it for the gut health. Of course, additional bone and organs just is a bonus, right? But I feed raw and I use toppers. If you're feeding kibble, if you can, I always say supplement your kibble with whole food sources to enhance it, and then next supplement you can use freeze-dried raw toppers or other supplements. One of my future goals is to come out with a full spectrum line of what we currently have, but all like in freeze-dried form, where it's like the highest quality muscle builder. Like I want a muscle building product that is freeze-dried based. And I want a healthy, I want to create a weight gainer that's all freeze-dried based. I want to create a joint supplement that's freeze-dried based. So I really want to step up the quality overall. The thing is that that's a big monumental movement in the game because not too many people are doing it. So,
there's a lot of breeders that you're not going to get them off kibble. That's just how there's to it. So if you want to help them improve their dogs, it's going to have to be through toppers or supplements of some sort.
I would say 95 to 97% are dog owners in general are feed kibble. Like there's no getting away from kibble. Yeah. So you just need to enhance it, and by enhancing it, one, you can extend the lifespan of your kibble bag because you're going to add whole food sources and different calories through whole food sources, and two, you're going to improve the overall quality of your dog. Yeah,
and for me, I got to find a balance. It's like I have a system, and it had whatever I need to do to add supplements or whatever for my dogs, it needs to fit within that system. Right.
Yeah. And every dog has different
daily
needs.
Life. Yeah. So you just have to look at it and say every dog, that's why the whiteboard's there. Because this dog gets this, this dog gets this, you know what I mean? So they have to.
And whatever you do, take your fucking time. I've seen people,
it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, I've seen people promoting, especially like on TikTok, all these different raw foods, and I'm just like, one thing you're not fucking telling these people that you're going to have splatter shits everywhere. One thing that I do with my dog, it's a very, very consistent program. So when you go see shit in the backyard that I go pick up, it's very tiny. It's healthy. It's not runny and shit like that. Because I'm telling you right now, man, like, I don't care what you put, whether it's a supplement, topper, or a fucking raw food source. If you don't do it right, you don't do it slowly, you're going to be pissed off. And you want to talk about it ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy cleaning that shit up off the floor. I'm telling you right now.
AC, the German Malinois, says, will you stud a dog that's dog human aggressive, great structure, muscles, genetics, but it's a bit dog human aggressive? It's kind of hard to answer that because you probably got a Malinois, right? So that's kind of like a drive. Like you want some of them dogs to have some kind of drive like that.
But here's the thing with mouths and stuff, though. That's all a game. Like they're not really being aggressive. I think what she's talking about is there's certain dogs out there just you walk by them, they're going to bite you just because they dislike you. When it comes to working dogs, that's a game to them.
Yeah. Right. So, I can't. That's why I was going to say, like, if that's the breed, I can't. In ours, no, I'm not. Like, if I see any type of that, I probably wouldn't breed it. Because
I think the worst breed in that. Chihuahuas, man, like those motherfuckers right there.
Psychos.
I think she means like I'm more on that lines. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If I really, really wanted to use the dog, I would take the time to determine why the dog is the way he is.
Yeah,
because
if you can
some dogs,
see if it could be fixed. Yeah,
I've seen some dogs that were super aggressive, but it was because of their environment. The dog wasn't naturally that way. It just got turned into that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got a homeboy that's got a dog. off a litter, and all his brothers are, they're stupid nice dogs, and he just had one that I personally feel like he was the best one off of the litter, right? And he won't. He's close to the public for that reason because he just doesn't. And I agree with him. And he tried it once, and it kind of turned the same way. Like the offspring ended up having that same type of situation to where the dog damn near got into it with one of his offspring, and they damn near killed each other.
Right.
So he was like, "Nope, it's a wrap. Back to close that down." So
it's a trait that definitely passes on. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's about it, man. We got a lot, but some of them are just kind of generally the same questions, different form.
Cool.
Look for one more, and then we'll close out.
All right, let's see here.
Make it a hard one.
That's what she said.
Make it a hard one.
How long you been married?
Oh, I haven't ever been married, but.
All right, here we go.
You got one kid.
Bowie the Dobie says, "Is there advantages of artificial?"
Yeah, I started over. Yeah, I got my son's 20, man. My daughter's 18. Yeah, 21.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't dig into your personals that deep now.
Now that you told the world, thank you.
Yes.
For throwing me out of the...
They said who won the last giveaway.
I was trying to make it easy. Just
all right, so here's the last. Okay, so here are the winners tonight so far. All right, let me just go ahead and say it. So we got Mitten Pride Bullies. They won a Muscle Bully Gains 45. Royal_Ray_Kennels won a Muscle Bully Gains 90. Vixen_Bully_Camp won a True Beast Camo Leash. Should we do one more giveaway?
Yeah, sure.
I'm down to do one more giveaway.
We'll do one more.
I got the same question on the screen. Did you change it?
Is there advantages of artificial insemination, and when is the best age to start breeding your female, and what's the age you should stop breeding her?
So for age, I generally wait till the third heat, and that's generally very close to 2 years old.
Quick question. Stop right there.
18 months at least.
Okay. What if you have like a bitch who's not like normal cycle, like her first heat's maybe like 10 months, and then she has another heat another 8 to 9 months later. So she's not quite 2 years, but it's her second cycle, but she's like, 18 months or 17 months, for example.
So at that point, I'm going to look at her maturity level.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to see how mature, because there's some dogs that are just super hyperactive and immature. Yeah. And then I have some dogs that could have had a litter way earlier, right? Because they're super nurturing, and the dog lays on the couch with you and never acts up, and like you can just tell they're going to be a good mom. But definitely third heat, 2 years old, and then I do three breedings, and then they're done. I don't care how old they are. I'm doing 3, and then they're done.
It's piece to piece in here.
Yeah.
Beast of piece. All right.
They
see
are.
What you want, buddy.
All right. Here we go. Let's see.
You're gonna win.
Who we got next week for our guests?
Next week is Quincy Hendricks.
Oh, nice.
My man from Tri Art Bullies.
Tri Art Bullies, yeah.
Yep. Got the dog grand champion Rockova.
What was that one thing you didn't like about Rockova, you said?
Man, get out of here. You ain't finna. Nope. I actually want to lock him in, bro, to be honest. He's a very nice dog. He's got the other dog too. What's the other one he's campaigning right now? Lou motherfucking Kane, champion Lou motherfucking Kane. He's a nice dog. He's got some very nice dogs, man. From what I've seen, I kind of get the gist is like he's got a lot of newer blood, and he's kind of teamed up with somebody around him in his area that's got a lot of older blood, and they're like banging that shit together back to back to back, and they're coming out with some stupid fire dogs right now, bro. But yeah, he'll be on here Monday. Wait, is it? Yeah, the 5th. We got him on the 5th, and then Cash on the 12th.
Yeah,
nice. Cash has he's right here out of California. He has a Juggernaut litter, and he just had a Colossus litter, and he had a Juggernaut litter. So the Juggernaut puppies look promising.
We got like 3 or 4 messages just waiting to get back to us. Hello.
Yeah.
Like we got some people to bring on.
Yeah.
They just gotta get back to us.
2023 too. We're going to be recycling all these people all the guests we have brought on. Yeah. So we got like 20 or 30 people that we're going to be bringing back.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge and stuff. So man, I have fun tonight. Man, I appreciate all the knowledge you guys have offered. Not to make this episode the pretzel or anything, but
the pretzel. Well, the pretzel fired.
Oh God.
But yeah, man, it's just been an honor, man. This has been such a good year, man. We're going to close out December pretty hard, guys. We're going to do some amazing giveaways next week. Quincy will have his own package. We're going to do some exclusive stuff. But hey, man, we do this organically. So, man, if you could do us a solid, go on Spotify, not Spotify, Apple, leave us a review there. Can they leave? I don't think they can leave reviews on Spotify.
I don't know, but they could like and follow and make us put us on a playlist or something.
Yeah, do something like that. Go to YouTube, subscribe. We can watch it on there as well, and just follow us on here, man. And just every Monday, man, notify. We try to do these giveaways. Roger isn't getting paid to do this. Zach isn't getting paid to do this. I ain't getting paid to do this. We're doing this because we want to bring massive value to you guys. We want to bring these guests on to bring massive value to you guys. It gives you guys an opportunity to have direct contact with some heavy hitters in this game, man, that you're going to be able to actually come on and ask these quality questions that you've always wanted to learn. We want our network to help build your network. So if you're serious about this game, we want you to be a part of it, but we also want to make sure you do it right and that you don't make the same mistakes that we've made in our businesses and in life and stuff like that. So that's all I got to say, man. What about you guys?
The pretzel fired.
The pretzel fired.
Good.
Yeah.
I appreciate all you guys asking questions. And I think moving forward, as we see like questions that, go in a certain direction, we'll try to bring on people that can give us new perspective to answer those types of questions. So
sure.
Facts, man.
Well, thank y'all, man. As always, we'll see you next week. Team X Dog Strong, True Beast Muscle Bully Podcast. We out. The pretzel.